Hi guys, welcome to Bridget's Cannabis Corner. It's Patient Story Wednesday, so I hope you guys have the Kleenex boxes close. Today we are going to be telling our very own Jason Ward's story. If some of you don't know, he's got a story of his own, so we're going to jerk your tears with his story, and it kind of helps. I feel like it kind of helps people, be able to look at us on a personal...
Inspiration is the word I want to say. Personal level, yes, indeed.
Yes. Inspiration and a personal level, because we're just like you guys. And that's why we do this. We want to give everybody's story a voice. Everybody deserves to have a voice and to have their story told. So, I want to know, first I want you guys to like and share this and put in the comments what you're smoking today. And if you're not smoking, let us know what you want to be smoking.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and share this into some of my groups here. How's everybody's week been going so far? Pretty good?
Hopefully really good. We've still been battling sickness around here. This one especially, not been feeling very well. Probably shouldn't even be on the show tonight because that's how crummy she's feeling. But we went ahead and she said, no, I'm going to do it. Just going to send it, she said.
The show must go on.
It must go on.
But I'm losing my voice, so please bear with me.
Can you guys hear us okay? Let's start with that. Got the microphone set up, so hopefully everybody can hear everything. I've been told I've got a tender, deep voice, so sometimes people don't always hear me, and that she's losing her voice.
Yeah, so...
Because I can get loud, and unfortunately at times I do get loud.
No, he doesn't.
I'm not meaning in a bad way.
Well, yeah.
It's because I'm hard of hearing, so sometimes I have a modulation issue.
All right, our brother Patrick's in the house. Delnita's in the house. Let's see. Delnita's smoking some Purple Kush. Tommy's in the house. He's not able to smoke until tomorrow. James Moon is in the house. Hi, James.
What's happening, James?
Gorilla Glue in Arkansas, James says. Thanks for joining us, James. I love Gorilla Glue. Donovan's in the house. Hi. Our brother Chris is in the house.
What's up, Chris?
Watching while on the road.
Oof. Safe travels, my friend.
My niece Jocelyn just popped in the house. Hi, honey.
Hey,
I hope you're feeling better.
You're feeling better.
Love you. All right. Oh, looks like our brother Daniel's in the house. Our sister Kim's in the house. We've got Chris from Wales in the house. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us. Nice. I have some family that hails from your area.
BJ is in the house.
BJ is in the house. Hi, BJ. I love you, honey. Tell Ken we say hi. Hope you guys are having a good dinner. Oh, fresh squeezed pineapple juice for the throat and voice. Okay, I'll try it. Thank you, Donovan. I'm definitely going to take your advice. I know you're very good at what you do, so I'm going to take your advice on that. I'm going to send him to the store to get some pineapple later.
Yeah, because that is not something we have just growing.
Yeah, unfortunately. Shelly's smoking some Blue Dream. Yum. Wish I had some Blue Dream. Pretty soon we'll be in Vegas and we can smoke all the Blue Dream we want.
I saw there was a sale this week on Blue Dream at Planet 13.
Planet 13, the largest dispensary in the world.
So hopefully they'll still be pushing around some good sales by the time we get there. That'd be awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. So I'm going to be smoking some Tangy Cookie Shatter today. And I've been smoking mostly concentrates because it seems not to irritate me as much as flower. Seems like when I smoke flower, it's like, So I'm just smoking some Tangy Cookie. This is so pretty. It looks like a little stone. I love rocks, as you can tell. It smells really good. Oh, I wish there was a light here. I have one on my keys. One of these times I'll have a light that we can shine through it so you can see how nice and clear and pretty it is.
Very pretty.
But today we are going to be telling Jason's story. And so we haven't really told a lot of people, but this is the very first time that my husband is telling his story. And I truly believe that part of his success in this was all of you. The fact that all of you were inspiring him.
That's why I led in with the word inspiration, because, I was able to tell or assist with telling you guys the stories. And every time I told a story about getting off pills or whatever, it just pushed me a little bit closer to saying, it's time. It's time. So I really appreciate all of you guys. I really do.
Years ago, my husband was totally against cannabis. He had the same stigma. He was raised in a very strict religious household. And so this was the devil's lettuce to him growing up. So even as adults, we've been together 18 years. Even just 10 years ago, I would say he wasn't totally for it, but he did realize that it calmed me down. So I'm raising 5 kids. I'm working full time. I'm going to school full time. And, a lot of us just need that to be able to just catch our breath and relax and just get into that space to allow our bodies and our minds to connect and be able to step back and slow down a little bit. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in it.
I'll start this up.
Like she was saying, I grew up in a very religious, had a very religious upbringing where almost anything except for the Bible was bad for you, and God, basically. So obviously cannabis would have never crossed my mind. Though interestingly enough, alcohol to an extent was okay. So that's where I'm going to begin my story. Growing up religious, but I was an alcoholic by age 12. Okay? So it might be tough to understand that, but my family would be like, okay, we're going to have, one White Russian or whatever, and I became an excellent bartender. Little did they know at that time I was also drink for you, drink for you, drink for me kind of thing. Anyway, so I became an alcoholic at about the age 12, like I said. By the age 13, I'd already been suspended from school for drinking. I mean, here I'm still a religious kid, right? But I've been, they thought it was something weird that happened, but I still got suspended because I admitted to drinking at school, before school. Shortly after that, we had a major family breakup, and some of it was meant to be like my brother moved out and got married, right? But then my parents divorced, and so the alcoholism got even worse, and I was left feeling like I had been abandoned, whatever, and I was just filling that void. Well, I continued on that path for quite many years, in and out of trouble. Until one day I got custody of my sons, and I literally, as hard as this sounds, or as weird as this sounds, shortly around the divorce time, I brought my 2 boys down to the park, and it was kind of chilly outside, but we were all bundled up, and they were swinging away, and I'm sitting there with a 211 tall can, and I'm just drinking away, right, while I'm watching my kids play at night. And right then and there I thought, this ain't right. So I quit drinking, right? And I've actually stopped drinking since then. But somewhere along the line, traffic accidents, couple hernia surgeries, whatever, I kept getting prescription pain medication. And before I knew it, in the beginning I thought I was just following the doctor's orders, right? Take this prescription, take this other prescription, take this prescription, and you're going to start feeling better.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to make a very clear point of this, that they were prescribed. This medication was prescribed for him, just like it is many of you.
Yeah.
We are following doctor's orders. So when we get started on this medication, it's because we have chronic pain, we have broken bones, we have legitimate health reasons to have this medication, and we're just following doctor's orders by taking them. And so that's exactly what gets a lot of us into this.
Now, I mean, I do question myself often to think, well, had I not started on this other road through the medical end of things, would I have picked up drinking again? I mean, that's just one of those things. I mean, I am afraid to pick up a drink. I'm afraid to even touch a can of beer because I know all it's going to take is one drink and I'll probably be, it could be, right?
I mean, it could be, yeah.
Like, that's how afraid.
Err on the side of caution.
That's how afraid I am of even being. I mean, I'll go to bars. I mean, we've went to bars plenty of times. I drink a Coca-Cola or whatever. But, anyways, so here I am following the doctor's orders. Here I am doing what I'm supposed to do, right? I thought, and it continued for many years. And when I say many years, I'm talking 18 years. I've been on 18 plus years. I've been on prescription medication. Well, I mean, I could probably explain, though some of you might know, obviously you take your prescriptions, your body then builds tolerance to it, you talk with your doctor, and the easy answer for them, I think, is just to write a prescription for more. Well, you get to a point where you're taking, I'm going to just speak from personal experience, all right? I got to a point where I was taking not only my prescription medication, but many other prescription medications, okay? So it got to a point where I was no longer able to justify, hey, it's just doctor's orders, because at that point, I was literally trying to keep able to do what I was doing, which is a lot of times is a lot of work, a lot of long days, a lot of, late nights, whatever. And I felt like I had to, I couldn't give it up, right? I had to just keep going. Well, that went on for quite many years. And I eventually, this last February, I mean, taking into account everything else that's happened in our family, the news about Samantha's tumor regrowing, other such stuff like that, I thought maybe that was a wake-up call for me. I thought, I can't keep doing this, right? I mean, I'm agitated about being agitated. I'm still a friendly guy, don't get me wrong, but I mean, my thoughts and everything was surrounded. I mean, I literally, my days at one point were 1.5 hours, and I'm not joking, because every hour and a half I'd take a pill. So my days seemed really short. I mean, now they feel like, wow, these days are forever, right? I'm telling you right now, it feels like day starts and the day doesn't end for a very long time. Anyways, so I was living off these 1.5 hour days. I'm going to censor it. I was freaking tired of living like that. So I went and talked to my doctor at one of my 6-month appointments, which would have been a year ago. And I told him, well, maybe I should tell that other piece of the puzzle. I'm going to backtrack 1 second. I had an allergic reaction to antibiotics and became allergic to many other things in 2013. What was the cause of this? I don't know, right? I was given antibiotics and my body hated it. Have I ever been allergic to antibiotics? No. My body, I believe, was wounded enough from all those years. I'm telling you, this is my own theory. Wounded enough from all those years of taking prescription medication that I had a reaction to something that I probably shouldn't have ever had a reaction to. Any other given time, I probably would not have had this reaction.
Yeah.
It almost killed me. I mean, as close to death as I've ever been was 2013. I mean, I don't remember at least 3 months of March, April, May, and into June. I mean, she would tell me, yeah, you'd sit there and start eating and just literally lay there, and we would wonder if you're choking on your food, if you're going to be okay. I mean, I literally could only eat honey glazed chicken. My body hated it. My body was covered in a rash from head to toe, right? I lost 50 pounds at least. I mean, I was like a skeleton. Anyways, so fast forward again. So, a year ago, I'm talking with my doctor, and at that time, his answer to the the antibiotic reaction was, oh, well, we're just going to change it to these other prescriptions because now you're allergic to your blood pressure medication, and we're going to change you from this schedule whatever drug to a different one that's even a little more powerful. And again, 3 months of me not even knowing I'm taking pills to basically restart my system. And so I'm taking more pharmaceuticals. I'm taking different stuff. Like I said, cycle. Just, I was in a downward spiral at that point. Anyway, so February I said to him, we got to do something to start working me off these. He said, wow, that's a great idea. I mean, you've got many years ahead of you, and there's going to be a time where you're going to need this. And I'd already had a surgery in the midst of all this that they had to prescribe me again another huge dose of medication because of the medication I was already on. It wouldn't have helped any of the pain, as basically this doctor told me. We don't have much options. We don't have any options to treat your pain because you're already taking so much. So anyway, so I told him, he said, great plan. How do you want to deal with this? I said, well, what do you recommend? He says, well, how about we make them a smaller dose but give you more? And at that time I thought, that seems like a fair way to deal with it. All it did was give me another pill in the day that I could take, and it didn't really set in my mind that it was any different. Well, but then I started stretching them out. So at that point I thought, okay, well, I need to start cutting down maybe even further, tapering. I'm going to make this a 6-month process. Well, 6 months came and I had to go to the next doctor's appointment. But I don't think I was ready to be off at that point. I wasn't ready here, right? I wasn't mentally ready. So I told, we talked and I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and start going down on these pills now. You made them smaller, a smaller dose. Let's start going down. He literally was like it's the first time he'd ever heard it. He goes, what are you talking about, Jason? I said, our plan from look at the record from our last appointment. He's like, oh, I don't think this is a good idea. And I'm kind of like, why? He goes, well, whatever you want to do, I'll support you, but I don't think it's a good idea. Well, I kept cutting down and kept cutting down and kept cutting down. And I knew there was going to be one part that would be just tough to talk about. So do you have something you can say for a second?
Yes, I do. So I'm wondering, have you guys faced this similar situation with your physicians? If your physician knows, do they support you or are they against it? Because I know a lot of people that have flat out been turned away from their physicians because they choose to use cannabis or CBD over pharmaceuticals. So I want to know from you guys. We want to hear from you. Does your physician support it? My physician supports it. His doesn't know yet.
Okay, so I'm back in now. I had to take a moment there because, one thing I always wished I could have done was been done taking these before my mom passed away. And obviously that didn't happen. But I picked a date that was important to my mom, and I decided at that time, I'm done. I still have pills I can take. So it's not like I'm out and I don't have them, so I'm forced to be in. Like right now, I could go into my doctor and make my appointment, and he'd write that devil script for me, but I'm not gonna. I picked a date that was important to my mom and me, right? And I just said, I'm done. And so I decided, after the fact though, day 3 of being off of these, I became very worried because then I thought, well, geez, I'm about to let my mom down again because I picked a date that was important and I really feel like still taking them. Okay? Thankfully, I weaned down like I did, right? I mean, withdrawals, not fun. So obviously, I got my medical cannabis card back in the end of October. I didn't get till the first part of November. And I slowly have been trying to work my way into... I got my card to help me get off pharmaceuticals. I mean, I wrote that on my application and it got approved. So to get myself off of these, so I've been working on age-old, cannabis ain't, is the devil, is it for me? I mean, so since I've stopped taking my prescription medication, and I would include my blood pressure medication, mind you, I don't take any prescription medication that I was on before. I've been able to quit it all. Anyway, so first few days rough. Next few days even rougher. I'm going to be honest with you. All of a sudden I started feeling a little better, and then day 10 and 11 and 12 came, right? Talk about, in my mind, I was just like, you can't do this, right? You can't do this. You still got some, go ahead and take them, right? And I literally I'm on day 18 now, okay? And there's no turning back. Now, do I still have am I still having a mental issue with it? Yeah. I mean, it's been part of my life for over 18 years.
Good job.
And I'd like to thank her for all of her love and support. Because without her, I'd still be taking those damn pharmaceuticals, okay?
Which in turn is because of our daughter being brave enough to try cannabis to kill her brain tumor. So all of the credit actually belongs to our daughter, Sammy Ward.
I was going to write myself a cheat sheet, right? Some bullet points. And I decided, why do that? I'm telling my own story. Exactly for the reason that she just stated. Samantha played a very integral part in this. I mean, without her, she was as against cannabis as I used to be, right? So I know where she's coming from. But yet we brought this to her as, Samantha, we can't do surgery for your brain tumor again. You're not going to make it, right? It's not going to work out. We don't want them shooting laser beams into your head. You got to try this. And she was like, no. You got to try this, Samantha. And so here I'm like telling her advice that I'm not even willing to take.
And that's right? For a lot of people who are caregivers, where the caregivers themselves have been tricked and lied to think that this is a bad thing, that it will harm people. Well, in a lot of cases, it's a much, much safer alternative to many brutal Western medical treatments. And for our daughter, it was. And for both of us, neither of us take any of pain medication. Both of us are chronic pain patients. We both have broken backs. He's got broken ankles, broken feet, broken neck. So it really, your stories, and initially our daughter's story is the first story that truly inspired us to give it a really good try ourselves. And it worked for both of us as well. So Samantha not only saved her own life, but she saved ours in turn, which is going to make our grandkids a lot happier, and our kids and our family and our friends. Our family and our friends want us around. We want to be feeling good. We want to be present and in the moment. So I just want to say congratulations. I'm so proud of you, Sweet Pea. And please, for those of you who are still on pharmaceuticals, don't beat yourself up. A lot of people need pharmaceuticals as well. You have to take your own health care into your own hands and figure out what's best for you. What's the best treatment for you? Maybe it's pharmaceuticals, Western medicine, and alternative medicine. I use both. He uses both. My daughter uses both. So it's really important that people have access to this. If people don't have access to this, then they're still having to go underground and meet people in sketchy places. And for people like me who worked in the medical world, if I approached somebody about weed, they figured I was probably a cop or something, because I worked at a hospital.
And you never knew what the quality, when I say quality, right, it never was consistent quality. Like, occasionally you'd get something or whatever, but, but a lot of times it was kind of like crap stuff, right? You're hitting the streets you're putting yourself in a position to be in a lot of trouble for crap.
So we
But
need
anyways.
to make sure that these stories get out so that people have access everywhere. People have safe and legal access. Safe and legal, that's what we're about. My daughter, she just happened to, this all happened to went down at the same time as a new law in our city was, or our state was being passed, that would allow dispensaries to carry Rick Simpson oil in their dispensaries. So that's why my daughter had legal access to the medication that's killing her cancer. So, yeah.
So the bottom line is, if it hasn't been stated already, we were telling you guys the stories, right? Every story that I had assisted on telling gave me a little bit more inspiration. A little bit more inspiration. I mean, some people wanted to stay
Speaking
anonymous.
of inspiration, Sammy Ward is in the house, you guys. Let's see a bunch of love in the screen for Sammy. We love you, sis. Were your ears ringing? We were just talking about you.
But yeah, so now what was I saying? No. I'm
About
starstruck
people
with
using
Samantha.
both pharmaceutical and alternative.
Well, but I was kind of going off
Inspiration.
the inspirational part of it.
Stories.
Was, so I know some people wanted to remain anonymous, but you still know you got my love, okay? And like Russell, he was all good with using it. He was an integral part, again, in helping me through this. I mean, him and I chatted a few times in those early days. He had some of the guys at Texas RX put together a package for me and send me a package. All very thankful stuff. So just know, 18 days in, I am battling a lot of demons. Okay, not just demons, current demons, right? I'm battling demons back to my childhood, back to unresolved stuff. Because alcohol, I allowed alcohol to stuff down a bunch of memories, right? And then I got out of the alcohol scene, but then was in the prescription scene, right? Allowed me to then keep pushing these memories and these bad, ill feelings that I had. Any bad thought, I was able to just continue to sweep away. Well, now things are clearer, right? Even my eyes seem clearer. My eyes feel good, right? I haven't had nearly as many headaches, which is totally crazy. It's like taking prescriptions for headaches. Now all of a sudden I ain't got headaches.
Yeah,
What's that all about? But anyways.
I swear the medications cause, like for me, when I quit taking my pain medication, my pain was half of what it was on the medication. The medication made it even worse. It made me feel heavy and stiff and just, ugh.
Which brings up where I was going with my thoughts too, is it's not easy to jump off that cliff, right? So if you can cut down, obviously that makes the cliff a little less of a fall, right? Mm-hmm. If I had to stop taking as many as I was taking at my highest point, right, and just stop, right, I probably would have been in the hospital or needing to go to a rehab center or something, right? I mean, I would have needed some medical assistance to make it through. So weaning down is key.
And we are not medical professionals,
no.
So
please do not take
we
anything I'm saying simply
anybody.
as jump off said cliff or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Do this out. But I was at such a point where I had to make that date. I had to quit. I got my card for a reason. First few days, very rough. Oh, and if it wasn't for cannabis, I probably would, I'm telling you right now, I probably would not have made it through as easily as I did. And when I say easily, it wasn't easy. But it could have been a lot worse. Because those first few days, if I'd wake up through the night feeling like crap, I would hit my pen. I would, whatever, right? Morning, noon, and night, it seemed like. 24 hours a day, first few days. And then I, battling again in my own mind. You got to be careful of that if this is something that you're going to be doing, just know there's going to be times where you're second guessing yourself, like constantly. And there's times where you feel a lot of regret for, I feel bad about saying, thanks to Samantha, I was quit, but because I think, what did I lose with my own kids, right? I should have probably quit a long time ago is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's never too late. And, you know, you're going to play this game like a constant mental abuse, but it gets better.
And you have to focus on the positive.
And focus on the positive.
Whenever you have a bad memory coming in, especially those first few days, have a smoke. When those memories start hitting your brain and you're just like, oh my God, I should have done this. I could have done this different. Take a puff and just chill. That's partly what cannabis is good for. Our brains are designed to forget. If our brains couldn't forget, we would be overloaded with information and we literally would walk around as zombies.
That's my kind of brain constantly thinks. And that's the one problem I have is like I cannot purposefully forget anything. I cannot accidentally forget anything. It's always in play. And so with a brain like mine, I had to have some assistance with getting some of the forgetfulness, having a laugh when I really felt like crying. I mean, we kept watching shows and a puppy dog was running up.
Well, we were watching a dolphin's tale with the grandkids and we were just like...
I'm like, literally, Carter even looked at me once and said, Pa, what's wrong? And I said, I just love this show, come on. A dolphin show, right?
Kiki and Carter are looking at us like, what the heck's wrong with me, Mon Peepa?
So anyways, what I'm trying to say is, thank you, everybody who shared your story already. And we love our family here. We love each and every one of you. And it's just fantastic. I've gotten so much support and not only from the home front here, right? Support. I've got the biggest cheerleader that anybody would ever want on the planet right here. Because she literally knew I was down and she just kind of did what she could every minute that she could to help me get back up. Even if it was watching sad shows or even if she was like...
we just gotta cry.
Let me talk when I was making no sense, right? And she would hear it and she would, there was times where I'm, just like right now, I'm babbling, right? See, I get into babble stage. And she literally was just like a sponge, just soaking it all in. And she'd come back with a very upbeat and angelic quote of sorts to help me get back up. Yeah. So, again, I just want to thank everybody and thank you for giving your time, obviously, tonight. I'm blessed to have you guys all, and I'm very thankful to have you guys tuning in tonight to listen to me babble.
Speaking of babbling, I know you mentioned you wanted to tell another story, and I said, well, let's save that. Let's tell your story first, because that's where I want the spotlight to shine. We want people to hear these stories, but we have a few extra minutes, so... Yeah.
I actually was planning on doing the show without her today because of her not, losing her voice and stuff, and I didn't want her. So I had mapped out this whole way I was going to do the show, and part of it was to start out with our first date 18 years ago. Tonight, here in about another hour and a half, 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, it'll be exactly 18 years. But prior to that, so... our story...
18 years! We feel like it's only been a few years, though. Even though we raised 5 kids from newborn infant to we're still raising.
Yeah.
It feels
feels like about 5 or... when I say if I had to guess how long it feels, it only feels like about 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I mean, it doesn't seem 18. That's that's a lot, right? Yeah. But anyway, so I was, I had to move back in with my mom after the divorce. So my sons and I lived with my mom. Blessed angel she was. Anyway, so the phone rang. I answered the phone, and who is it? None other than this one over here calling me, saying, "Hey, I'm going to the Feed and Read tonight." And so we both worked at Head Start, okay? And Feed and Read was a way for families to get together, read, have a dinner, meet others. It was like a community event. So she called me up and said, I'm going to the feed and read. And so she called me up, I think the day before though, right?
Yeah.
The day before. So she called me up the night before the feed and read and said, hey, we're going to the feed and read tomorrow. Are you guys going to be going? If, would like to go with us. And I was kind of like stunned because I'm like, I don't know. So I said, well, let me call you back. So
first he came from an upbringing where girls don't ask boys. So that, I think he was kind of like,
right.
Do I want to go somewhere with a girl that would ask me on a date?
Well, okay, that actually did not cross my mind. But it's a good point, though, because I was a little thrown back, right? I was kind of like, whoa, hang on. So I got off the phone, and then my mom just said, what was that call all about? And so I kind of was like, trying to laugh it off a little bit or whatever, and I'm just like telling her the story. She's like, and she's kind of looking at me like, what? And I'm like, well, what do you think? And she says, you'd be a damn fool not to call her back. That's exactly what she said.
She was a smart woman.
She said, you'd be a damn fool not to call her back. So anyway, so I did call her back, and I said, yeah, we're going to be there. We'd love to go with you guys. So dinner time came, feed and read. We're there eating. The kids got to, some of the kids knew each other through the Head Start program, but of course it was a big
So we
meeting.
each had a kid. We both worked there, and then we each had a kid in Head Start too. So
yeah, right.
So we worked together for a couple of years.
Yep. Anyways.
Oh.
So we got to the feed and read, had a great time. Horsed around, read some books. It was in a big gymnasium at the used to be grade school that I actually went to as a kid. So, it was like being at home. We were, all were having a great time. And then the feed and read ended. And as we walked out, we were like, wow, that was the best night ever, right? And it was like, I wish this didn't have to end. Right?
Yeah.
I wish this didn't have to end. Like, what else can we still do? So we kind of were talking with the kids on the sidewalk. Hey, maybe we should go to the carousel. And we're like, heck yeah, that sounds like the best idea ever. So we drive downtown Missoula and go to the carousel. And of course, as we're walking up towards the building, it's dark because it's pretty much almost 9 o'clock at night. Who brings their kids downtown at 9 o'clock at night? These two. Anyways. So we walk up and we're just about ready to call it, like, okay, they're closed or whatever. And my son, Jason Jr., says, well, wait a second, the door's open. And we kind of look a little closer, and it's being held open by a very small garbage can.
Jay was 4 at the time.
And he was
just a little guy.
And so, just a little guy says the door's open. So we walk up and he's all, hello? Hello? Because we put him to task to do that. Anyways, finally somebody came, right? And they were like, I'm sorry, we're closed. And we were like, the kids, we were hoping we could ride the carousel. And it's like, well, we closed many, 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 many hours ago. But we are working on one of the horses back here. So you guys are welcome to come see it. And we're like, fantastic. At least we're still doing stuff together. We're still together. Yeah. So we all go in there like a herd of ducklings and go back to the where they're working on the horse. And, it's like the only light on in the whole room. Or in this whole building is where they're working on the horses. As we're walking up, it's almost like magic, right? They're in there painting away, sand and chiseling down stuff, making things good for the spring reopen, when they're on regular hours again.
It was like we were in Santa's workshop.
It was like we were in Santa's workshop. Anyway, so, was it Jay again that said, can we ride? He's just like begging him. I'm sure it was Jay, Winnie. Just really pushing the can we ride, and they kept saying no. And we were kind of like, okay, getting to the point where, okay, we've watched the horse for a bit, we should probably get out of you guys' way. Before we knew it, the lights in the building came on, the music started, and the carousel was fired up. No joke. It's like a fairy tale.
It was like a fairy tale. Literally, the whole place just lit up like a freaking ballroom.
Music.
The music started. The carousel starts turning. We're like looking at each other like
this can't be real. And like literally, pinch me. Am I dreaming? Right? Not dreaming, because then they said, go ahead, pick your horses. And then we got to ride on the carousel.
So as we're riding the carousel, I'm like looking back at Jason.
I'm looking at her like, can you believe
this? Real?
Can you believe this? I can't believe this would never happen. Anyway, so after the fairy tale magic ride and everything, it's getting 10 o'clock. Kids had school in the morning. We figured we probably ought to wrap it up. We had work. They had school. So anyways, we left there. And that literally was the start of our relationship. Because after that, we then I talked with the boys. She was talking with the girls.
Because I had 2 girls, he had 2 boys.
What do you
so
guys
it's
think?
Like the Brady Bunch.
About us hanging out more? And they all were for it.
Yeah.
And so, 18 years ago today was our magic carpet ride.
Yep.
And we haven't gotten off that thing since.
Nope. Loved every minute of it. Hard times, good times, bad times.
If you could change some stuff, sure, right?
But I wouldn't change who was by my side.
Right, exactly. Just because we had an onslaught of everything that you can imagine ever happened to our family.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made it through without her, and I'm sure she could speak the same. It was a tough road, but we made it, and we're still here, and we're still firing on all cylinders. In fact, I'm firing on even more cylinders than I was a few months ago. 18 days ago, to be exact. Things are coming into line. The universe is finally lining up. Things are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a good year for all of us.
Great year for all of us.
Great year for all of us. All right, guys. Well, thank you for sharing your story, Sweet Pea. I'm so proud of you, and you're an inspiration to me and lots of other people. If you guys have a story that you want to share, send me a private message, and we'll get you put on the schedule. And
I'd love to tell your story.
Yep.
So anyways, do we want to do any final check-ins?
Let's do some shout-outs
We haven't even really looked at any.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and have this. You can break your pen out as a
I took one halfway through just to kind of help me get through that rough spot. Felt like I needed it. Definitely helps out. So here's, I'm smoking green crack. It's my favorite in the pen.
Can you guys hear my torch?
I can feel the heat from here. It's cooking.
That's because you're just already hot.
Well, that's right. I was gonna we were thinking about wearing Starbuds, obviously, who provides me with my wonderful medicine. Thank you, Glenn, Jill, and the whole crew. But I was gonna wear my Starbuds thing to help, represent. And I thought to myself, just thinking about it made me too hot. So I can't do it. I can't wear a sweater. I got my tank top on under my dress shirt, okay? Because it's cooking hot. But anyways, we were going to do some final shout-outs.
Love you, Sister Lisa.
Yep, love you, Lisa.
Michelle
Best year
smoking
ever,
some blackberry
Kimberly.
cheesecake. Yum, that sounds delicious, Michelle. Sharon, we love you. Jason and Bridget, thank you for sharing your amazing story with us. Thank you,
Sharon. Love you.
Chris, what happened? Lost you for about 10 minutes.
Quick recap. Was on pills. No longer take pills. 18 days clean. And I haven't felt better in my life. Now, do I still have a lot of pain? I'm not going to lie. I haven't tricked my mind hasn't been able to trick that yet. But I think it's because my mind is trying to trick me. You see where I'm going with that? Mm-hmm. Your mind is powerful, and it'll make you believe just about anything about yourself.
Yeah.
So in the same respect, you can have as much hope in yourself too, and good things are coming. So.
Yep.
So yeah, 18 days, no pills, cannabis only, no blood pressure medication, cannabis only. Yes.
Yay! Vegas, baby.
Oh yeah. I cannot wait.
Yep.
Ugh.
So since it was brought up, meet us in Vegas, April 1st through the 5th. It's a no host kind of thing. You pay your own way. You figure out all your own accommodations. It's just a bunch of us meeting up to hang out, to meet each other face to face and get to know each other. So yeah, we're gonna ride the zip line down Fremont. We're gonna go to the
Planet 13, the largest dispensary on the planet.
Yep.
We're just gonna hang out too. I mean, that's what the main goal is, to hang out. And
maybe win some money while we're there.
I mean, yeah, for sure. That is on the agenda.
That would be great for our nonprofit.
Anywho.
So yeah, let's give some shout outs. Let's give a shout out to Ganji lovers, Montana Ganji lovers. I started our chapter here in Montana. If you don't have one for your state, you can start one.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Give a shout out to Canonun's 420 Ministry. Thanks for all you do, ladies. We appreciate you helping us to save lives, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about, is saving lives. The Ganji Revolution. Thank you for all you guys do. Canna Crusaders. Same exact group. We just mishap with trying to change the name. So we had,
We still love each other all the same.
Yes.
No matter what group you're in.
Doesn't matter. We love everybody. Yep. Canavets made in America. Vet Meds Matter. Dav Station. Check out my YouTube channel at Bridget's Cannabis Corner. Subscribe to that.
Yeah, subscribe and get so you can get notifications when there's a new video posted.
Yep.
It's important.
Yeah, absolutely important.
Yep.
So what that is for, what we started doing that for, is we're hoping to make some money on YouTube that we can put into our nonprofit.
Yep.
So we can help save lives. So check out my Instagram, Buttercup Biddy. I'm sure Sharon will stick it in the comments.
She
here.
does
She's really
every time.
Thank you, James.
The queen.
Yeah, so this is our 18-year date anniversary.
Yeah.
Our wedding anniversary is on Valentine's Day. So right around the corner, you'll hear about another one.
Anniversary.
Today's our date.
Yeah,
the
today's
next
our
is our
first
wedding.
date anniversary, followed by our wedding anniversary of 15 years coming in on Valentine's Day, 2019.
I didn't even think we were that old yet. What?
You know. Explosion. Crazy.
Jeez, what the heck happened?
I know, look at all this gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
I had aged well until about a minute ago, and now I'm like old man Rivers over here. Just kidding.
Hey, Grandpa.
Well, I am a grandpa.
You are a grandpa.
So
speaking of, we need to call Angel Face tonight. Our granddaughter.
Babies. Oh, our granddaughter.
One of our granddaughters, Gracie.
Yeah.
She's real sick. She got strep. She got the flu. She's puking her little guts out.
We love our sweet G.
Oh, wait, no. Okay.
We can't call her tonight. That's right. I mean,
that's right.
Edit.
She's busy.
We will call her shortly. And describe the location and time.
Hey, our brother Brandon's in the house. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
Love you, brother. Thanks for all you do. Brandon's always spreading love and light wherever he goes. Yep. My daughter and I now, whenever we're in traffic and I'm smoking, she'll be like, hotboxing in a Hyundai, Mom. You're hotboxing in a Hyundai. And I'm like, yeah, so it's become kind of a catchphrase in our house.
It has.
Yes, it has. 315 Savin Lotion. Give a shout out to them. And got a call from High Times today. What?
Awesome.
Yay, Mom and Dad. Woo! Yes. We should smoke sesh later, brother. Tell me all about it. Yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's super exciting. I know. God. I think Chris is bringing to Vegas with him a couple of the High Times models. So,
What kind of streets is that?
Pretty gorgeous ladies will be coming with us. That'll be awesome.
Yes, they will. Right here.
Yeah, so make sure you meet us in Vegas. We
If you can, whatever.
We might make it a yearly thing. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So
it's a nice way to get out of winter, right? Too bad we couldn't have actually put it on like February something. So we'll have to discuss the future dates.
Well,
but April 1st is fun, right?
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'll be in Seattle in February.
For good news, of course.
Good news. Samantha's MRI, so hopefully it's gone. Hopefully it's gone.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll find out in less than a month.
Yep.
Yeah, 21 days.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, send us lots of good juju for that, because it's going to be awesome to be able to come back to Montana and tell our local doctors to suck it.
Boom!
Boom!
That just happened. All right.
All right, guys. Well, tomorrow night we have our strain review, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time. And then Friday, High Day Friday.
Working on something for that, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we'll get it figured out. It's all good.
So until then, peace, love, and cannabis. Good night.
Good night, guys. Thank you.